Ain't no ass stepping with Marcus J. Thank you so much, everybody. You're still listening to us out there on Loud City, Tune In, MixLR, and our home station, Legacy Internet Radio. We haven't given any love to the folks out there that's actually listening to us, so we appreciate it. Call us up, be down with us. Tell us where you at, 804-402-2893, to be down with the flagship show, Legacy Internet Radio.com. As we do every single week, we had a word from our sponsor a moment ago, and now we need to profile a missing and/or exploited child. And this week's child is Tanisha Moss. Tanisha Moss is an endangered runaway. She's been missing since October 4, 2013. Her date of birth is February 7th, 1998, which makes her 15 years old. She stands 5'3", weighs 120 pounds. Of course, she's a black female with brown eyes, black hair. She's missing from Washington, D.C. She was last seen on October 4, 2013. She's got tattoo on her abdomen and lower back, and when she was last seen, her hair was dyed brown. If you have seen Tanisha Moss, please contact the National Center for Missing and/or Exploited Children on their website, missingkids.com, or contact them by phone at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please keep your eyes open for Tanisha Moss and any of our missing and/or exploited children. Keep your eyes open for kids that may be looking like they're nervous, afraid, just out of place. Keep your eyes open. Contact your local authorities. Let's help bring these kids home. Ain't no half step with Marcus J. All right, let's go ahead and take a turn. We did a little bit of sports. We hadn't done a lot of that in a long time since we kind of changed the focus here, the flagship show, Legacy Internet Radio. Talked a little bit about Allen Iverson and the incognito fella down with the Miami Dolphins. We're going to take a turn, get some what the hell in here. And before I do that, I want to go ahead and introduce a special guest that has joined us here live in the den. She is the co-host of our Wednesday show, The Green Room with Jay Grizzy, and the lady herself, Lissa P, has joined us in the building. What's going on, girl?
Ow, ow. What's going on? Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. What's going on, fellas?
I'm doing. We doing fabulous. We haven't seen you. Steven Sykes, Mr. LP.
Good evening.
Step out of the building. Good evening, Steven.
We haven't seen you on Ain't a Half Stepping with Marcus J in a long time.
I know, man. I was pretty excited to see all the fellas in here. Gosh, I feel extra special. And then now I see that Cy Butler's not in the building. I feel extra special. Ha ha ha. Cy Butler, you missed all the madness in the buildings. All the menaces.
The menaces.
Yes, I see. I can't say what I want to say because it's not Wednesday. I would have said something totally different. Those who know me know I would have said something totally different. But hey, this is Marcus J. Monday nights. I can dig it.
That's what it is, girl. I tell you, we do get a little bit. We get a little bit blue on the Wednesday show. On occasion, I'm here and I grab the mic, and you might hear Marcus J say some stuff on Wednesdays that you might not necessarily hear me say on Monday night. So
most definitely,
yeah, I'm bilingual.
Much respect.
I speak intelligent and I speak
slang.
Slang. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, you speak that other stuff. But thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's good to see you. Glad to have you. Ain't no half step with Marcus. Yeah, all right, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into some what the hell. Everybody knows the drill. We go through some crazy ass stories. We get our comments in. We argue. We fight. We agree. And then we move on. Everybody ready? We all game?
Ready.
All right. Listen, P, since you just joined us, I want you in on this one first. I am not going to set this one up like I normally do. I am going to say 3 words.
Okay.
And then I want you to comment off of those 3 words.
Okay. And if I don't like the 3 words, can I be upset that you didn't set it up like you usually do for other people?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go.
Absolutely. Okay. Those 3 words are Preachers of LA.
Enough said. I can dig it. Enough said.
All right, okay. Preachers of LA. Wow. I don't think that we need to set it up. Anybody that's listening to this show has either watched that show or has heard of that show. So I'll kind of interview you real quick and give you an opportunity to kind of share your thoughts. First of all, have you seen the show?
Yes, sir.
Do you like the show?
Entertainment, yes, because I laugh. I can't answer it any other way.
Okay, well, why don't you just forget the interview thing. Just tell us your thoughts on the show.
Thank you. I really can just say it's only entertainment. I feel that if these are actual men of God, which they portray to be, or portrayed to be. I feel like that's wow, you are really getting into it. That's really distracting to me, and I really can't do two things at one time. I mean, for real. Gulp.
I just chugged some beverage.
Like liquid beverage, just straight
some Kool-Aid.
Cartoon.
Yeah, it was Kool-Aid.
Like,
Kool-Aid.
I saw the gulps come like from your throat.
You just saw my I remember that. Yeah, you just took me way back.
Okay, back to the Preachers of LA. But anyway, so they do regular dude stuff. They have like a man's cave, which is a mansion. Okay, it's a whole mansion for just the guys. They do bigger back and forth. They do have drama. So again, I think it's just their membership might be low at their churches, rent may be due, so they had to do this for TV. As we did hear, I don't know if some of you did hear about TD Jakes, how he felt about it, stating that, to his churches, he didn't need their money. He had money before he came to Dallas or where have you. But I feel that TD Jakes, if people start buying your books, your CDs, and coming to your church, I feel like that you'll be broke. You'll be on the Preachers of LA Part 2. So, I just really feel like it's reality just like anything else.
JR, what's your thoughts?
Take a deep breath.
He took a very deep breath. He took a very deep breath.
It's a train wreck. I'm a Christian who says nobody's perfect. There's no perfect people in heaven, only forgiven people. So, having said that, these guys are just on some foolery. You might as well be watching, Keeping Up with the Kardashians or any other non-reality show. I mean, they touch on real life situations. The only part that really, I would guess bothers me is there is one bishop on there. I believe he's a bishop, and he used to be affiliated with certain gangs.
With the Crips, I think.
No, it's the Bloods. But I only say that to say, he always, well, at least I ain't gonna say always, but in the shows that I've seen, he's reaching out to the people that are in the same community that he comes from. I noticed a couple things. One, he's still wearing the red. Even I notice sometimes in the pulpit, he's wearing the red. He in some of the gospel shows, he has some Pyru members come out to the show to see this gospel show that one of the other ministers on the show actually produced and perform in. The other thing that bothers me is I don't see him reaching out to any of the other gang members who wear the other colors. So that leads me to believe either A, he isn't totally out of the gang, or two, he is out of the gang. He's just wearing the colors for TV because he know the reaction that certain rap artists who affiliate with the Bloods get. So,
what you think, Steven?
If I had my boots on, I'd be ready to put them down. I'm pissed. And I'm say that like this. Okay, first off, the show gives credence and more ammo to those who are who not Christianity or believing in God or the different faiths who put down maybe Christianity. This show gives them fuel because they see this foolishness. Unfortunately, they're not seeing all the other good side of things out there. And again, there's a glorious opportunity to show a balance of something more powerful, and they use this to just show the buffoonery. And it says in the Bible, not to get into scriptures too much, but no putting one man before me. These people act like they're above and beyond God and above reproach. Even preachers, pastors, everybody, like you said, no one's perfect. But at the same time, you have to still carry yourself a little bit much more mature. These gentlemen are not. They still of the world, trying to be of it versus separating themselves from the foolishness. So they still want to be hip-hop-ish, glamorous, or all these other different things, swag, all this other stuff, when that's not what it's about. So you're not doing justice. I understand you want to reach out, quote unquote, to people, but that's not necessarily how you reach out. That doesn't mean you demonize or condemn the other group, but you could say, hey, this is, I understand for that gentleman, that bishop, I understand, I've been there, I can relate, but let's all the gangs come over and let's do something well. And to your point to T.D. Jakes and all these other preachers that's talking about it, some of them don't have a room or leg to talk on, because to be honest, like you said, what was it in the late 90s, T.D. Jakes had started out with those 7 videotapes that he made everybody to buy for $59.95, and he blew it from there. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with your success and wealth, but if you start flaunting it and gargantuan, it's a problem. That one preacher, and I forgot his name, the older gentleman with the thick beard, he was on Don Lemon saying that, yes, I got a Bentley and a Lamborghini and something else. Yeah, God's been good to me, but that doesn't mean is of excess and is wasteful extravagance. What does that say to the rest of especially the young people? Because the church is somewhat, quote unquote, dying in one respect, because all these older people are passing on. You want the younger people to come in, no matter what denomination you may be, and they seeing youthful expression, spending money. So now what are you teaching? If anything, you're supposed to get better, better lessons of life if you can from church, regardless of your beliefs. And they're not showing that.
My thought is this. I am the only one who hasn't seen the show. And when we were doing prepping the commercial, I was asked if I had seen the commercial. I said I had, and I was told I seen enough. And I really did feel like I saw enough watching the commercials. I'm not a Christian. I don't profess to be one. I respect the religion as I respect everybody's religion. I've watched reality television before. I personally prefer competition-based reality TV personally, but I did watch Flavor of Love. I'm a hypocrite. I'm an official hypocrite when it comes to this kind of stuff. But here's what I will say about the preachers of LA. I have a huge problem with people, men of the cloth, going on television and showing the excess that they live in, while many of those people in the congregations that they lead can't barely pay their mortgages. They can't pay their house notes. They can't pay their car notes. Their kids got to go to public schools because they would prefer to send them to private schools, but maybe they can't afford them. Or maybe they spend their last dime on the building fund. I think if we did a study of all the churches in the United States right now, and we see how much money they took in just yesterday, it would blow our minds how much money that is. And so when you see the excess of a man of the cloth who has not a man cave, but a man house, right, the message that sends to people, to me, is so outrageous and so inappropriate that I don't need to see no more. I don't need to watch the show. I don't need to hear about what the good things they're doing. I had this debate with a sister who I've known for 25 years, and she told me that I have no right speaking on it since I haven't watched it. And while I respect her opinion, I disagree with it, because all you had to do was tell me that these was preachers who showed that they got a man house. I ain't need to see no more. I really didn't. I didn't need to see no more. So I could say more, but I think I kind of said it. No, listen, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, but because really listening to you say that, and that really he has a man house. It's like a man house. Mansion. Yeah, and you're right, and that's one of the things I was going to speak on when Stephen was talking about, these preachers make these money, and they have enough money because they have these $10 million churches, and you have people who are catching the bus or don't know how they're going to get to church or to work, or they're hungry, and it's amazing. And to hear you, like I said, hear them here, and I actually saw the mansion. I mean, it was awesome. It was like bigger, I'm sure, than all of our houses put together, and that's just where they go to congregate. So yeah, How crazy
wow. Is that? See, I didn't see it. I didn't see the house, Lisa, but I heard about it. And my cousin Terry, who and I debated. We had a whole segment where we debated reality TV a few months ago, And so if she was listening or if she was on right now, she would completely call me out for not watching the show. And she's another person who would say that I'm a hypocrite for not watching the show and having a strong negative feeling about it. But for me, it's the preacher thing, man. It's the preacher thing. While I am not a Christian, I hold the leaders of religion in a high esteem because they the 10%, you know. And if you understand the doctrine of the nation of gods and earths, which I'm not a party of, but I understand where they're coming from when they talk about it. You know, with the 5% being the chosen few who know and want to teach you, the poor righteous teachers. Then you got 85% who have no idea. They're dumb and blind and clueless. But then you got the 10%. These are the people who know better. These are the people who are tasked with making sure that the 85% is okay, but they choose not to. And this is who these preachers are. And so I have a hard time accepting that you got this big ass house that's paid for by the people who spend their 10%, is coincidence the 10% again, but they spend their 10% tithing every single month, oftentimes at their own personal detriment. So Big Rube, you're the only one who we haven't gotten in on this one. Preachers of LA, give it to us. What you got?
I can't watch it. I watched like 15, 20 minutes of like the first episode, and I think I was more flabbergasted and disgusted than anything else. Not even, well, I mean, first of all, I don't know how much y'all talked about because I had to step out for a little bit. But first of all, when the dude had his man cave, but it was a different house. Like a whole different house. We talked about that. You know, that was a little something for me. Yeah. You know,
that's what did it for me. Really.
I mean, but you know, and I'm not saying like an outhouse in the backyard. Yeah, no, it was a mansion. He had to drive on the other side of the city.
Yes, yo.
And stuff, and it was like packed with food and everything, and I was just kind of like,
really?
What? But I digress. It wasn't even, you know, I kept watching it after that. But then when they started getting discussions, you had the young buck preacher talking to Mr. Superfly preacher
with the curly hair.
Yeah, man.
He got at him, didn't he?
Yo, and he was pretty much like, you know, what do you do? He's like, you know, I go out and whatever, but if I'm booked, I send out one of my deacons, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I've heard that before. Keep going. And then he's like, how much you charge? He was like, well, it starts like, I think it was like $3,000 or $5,000. What? What? And he was just like, what about the people who can't pay? Well, if they can't pay, I can't go. And I was like, oh, man. You know, and I was weak at that point. And then he was like, why do you charge so much? He said, I got to take my entourage. Yo, and then he said, the guy was like, why you need an entourage? Jesus have an entourage. Which he messed up at completely.
Jesus had an entourage.
However, they would call his disciples. They won't call the entourage. You know, and he corrected the young boy on that, and it was just like, so basically, you go to an event, is you 12 other dudes. That's called a posse.
But you know,
and he rode up in a Range Rover. 2, and I was waiting. The dudes just fell out. Man, I was like, come on, man.
Reverend Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
First of all, the hate mail that they're getting, and the so-called stalker woman that so-called says that she's his other woman, and it's so much drama. I mean, it's really just another reality show, but now it's getting to the churches, and people have said this. It's coming to the church.
We're getting a couple of hits in social media. Michelle K. Robinson says the preachers of LA is a hot mess. I'm so surprised by their actions, especially Minister D. Haddon. The preachers are flaunting everything they have. Joy is checking in. What's up, sis? She's saying that she's reality show addict, but she ain't never seen it. But she did watch all the seasons of Flavor of Love. Get it, girl.
She was cool till she said that.
Nah, well,
because Flavor of Love was the first one was whatever. But the second one was
all of it was terrible. I watched it because I liked Flav and I like looking at pretty girls. So
when old girl spit at New York though, that was
it was pretty bad. But every time he said Flavor, I just lost it. I just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Anyway. anyway, and you don't have Steppin Marcus yet. Hey, look, as far as these preachers, I want to kind of put a bow on this and kind of move on to some other stuff. But I guess I kind of already said my piece on it, JR. I'm gonna let you get the last word because you did look like you wanted to get in here. I just don't understand how people can justify watching it and get past the excess when their response to someone like me who's a detractor is that the excess when they're leading churches of people who can't really, I shouldn't say they can't take care of themselves, but obviously these preachers are doing better than most people. And the excess, that's the part that I have a hard time with. JR, get this point in. Ruben, you'll finish it up.
My biggest issue isn't so much that these guys have access. It's more so the message of what they're getting out. Like, so far as what I've seen, I haven't heard them actually preach a verse of anything. Nothing. Zero. Not a Bible verse to first. The most that I got out of the show was when the young pastor got at Rico Suave. That's what I'm calling him, cause with the little baby hair. Like, the most I got out of it was when he got at him and told him, Jesus said, pick up your cross and go.
We getting another hit in social media.
And
hold up, DJ Renee Melendez, who hosts Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez every Saturday from 7 to 9 here on Legacy Internet Radio, says that Dietrich Hadd needs to sit down somewhere. He got busted for sexting recently. I don't know who that is.
Wow, he just got married.
That's
Playboy Ford.
No. Dietrich Haddon is the one who just
Dietrich's
got
the one
married.
Do the music.
No, Dietrich Haddon is the one who had the baby out of wedlock.
Right, he's the one that does the music.
Yeah.
He's the young guy that was getting that Rico.
One. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
the other young guy.
You know what? And see, here's the biggest overall issue
Sexting.
with the show is that people aren't perfect. People are people, regardless of whether you're a man of the cloth or not. You're still a person, and I think a lot of times people forget that when they watch it. But for me, it all goes back to what are you giving your congregation? And so far as I've seen, they're not giving them any word.
I can dig it. Big Root.
I mean, my only thing is, like, I get it. They make a lot of money. But walking in with the little pep fur and rolling like 12 deep in the road in a Land Rover. Nah, man, I ain't feeling that. I mean, I will give the dude his extra house. I'll give him that. No. But I can't give Pretty Boy with the baby hair, mink coat, and got his quote unquote entourage look like bodyguards. I can't give him that.
Okay, let me just say this really quick. Please, number one, do not look at preachers of LA to get a word, because that's not why they're on. Again, they're on to build their congregation. They're not on to give you a word. If you want to get a word, turn to the Christian Network. That's like $2.92.
I don't turn to them either. That's a whole nother
or
can
go
of
to
worms.
church yourself on Sunday, because don't look at it for that, because you're not going to get a word. The word you get, number one, he's showing you one scene of reality, how you're having a baby out of wedlock, and then they're showing you two how they have other drama. It's reality. It's not to give you a word.
Here's the thing,
right? But that's what people are gonna look at when they look at this show. They're gonna look at their excess, but at the same time, these people are going to be looking at this show thinking,
don't say to get a word,
and not to get a word.
Oh, okay,
but
okay,
when they're looking at this show, they're saying, what are they giving these people?
All right, well, let me just, I'm gonna take the last word because I want to move on. But I think Lissa P just made the point of the segment when she said, don't look at this show to get a word. And if we look at how reality TV is being crafted right now, every single aspect of the world here in the United States has, well, not every, but a lot of them has some sort of reality TV. You got reality TV for Honey Boo Boo. You got reality TV for Flavor of Love. You got reality TV for Duck Dynasty. You got reality TV for all kinds of stuff. So the fact that they got reality TV for preachers, I guess it really shouldn't be that surprising to us, because every single aspect of, I guess we should say, communities in our culture that has some sort of voyeuristic tendencies will have people that'll want to get some sort of kind of the fly on the wall type of phenomena where we can kind of see what goes on behind the scenes, you know? And so that's how I look at that. My problem with it is behind the scenes, you telling me more about these dudes than I need to know. Like Big Rube last week made the point that I don't need to know about all the stuff that the government is doing because that's outside of my, I think you said social grade or something like that. Pay grade, social grade, whatever it is. It's kind of like that too. It's like the more I know about these cats, the more I'm like turned off by it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that it's something that, you know, is wrong in the sense that they should put it on. But I think that the fact that she said don't be looking at it to try to get a word, because if that's why you watching, then you definitely looking at, you turn on Pat Robinson or something with Joel Osteen, depending on what side of the political. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. Reverend Lonnie Leon Love, what now, the Reverend Ike or something. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. All right, let's move on. JR, I want you in this one first. Getting this one from MSNBC. And this is a Nevada Republican, Assemblyman Jim Wheeler, who came under fire recently for saying that he would vote to allow slavery if that's what his constituents wanted. Quote, if that's what they wanted, I'd have to hold my nose. They'd probably have to hold a gun to my head, but yeah, I'd vote for it, end quote, is what he said. The comments obviously have not been well received by the Nevada Republican leaders who are rushing to distance themselves from him. For his part, Wheeler published an explanation of sorts on his personal website saying that his point was only that he's inclined to support literally any position embraced by his constituents. It's not that he endorses slavery, only that he would allow slavery if his constituents wanted him to. Now, keep in mind, that's supposed to be his defense. He then seemed to shift gears again, saying that the exact opposite, quote, if my constituents wanted something as outlandish as bring back an abhorrent system, then I simply couldn't represent them anymore. They would have to remove me from office or I'd have to resign, which sounds like a total backtrack to me. And then he offered his sincere apology. So let's get in. Let's get in on it. Nevada Republican Mr. Wheeler says that if his constituents wanted slavery, he'd vote for it. I don't want to care about him backtracking. I want to talk about the first thing he said. What you think?
He just put his foot in his mouth, basically. That's what he did. I think a lot of times, you know, politicians are not transparent at all. They're not. But they try to be transparent. They try to act as if they were transparent, that they would give their people anything they want. That's trying to be so different from what they hold the Democratic Party to be. They're saying that the Democratic Party is forcing big government on everybody and that the people should be free to have whatever they want to have. And to me, that's him trying to go to that extreme. And in doing so, he put his foot in his mouth, which is just stupid. Like, I don't know who's writing this stuff for them. Like, I don't get it. Whenever I hear something like this, or a few years ago what Rush Limbaugh said on when he had the show on ESPN, he was with the fellas and something about black quarterbacks. You can't be black quarterbacks aren't good or something to that.
Actually, what he said was black people are predisposed to be athletic, which is the reason why they're better than some of the white ones. And he also said that the world, which this part I agree with Rush. The one time I agreed with Rush when he said that, and I don't want to make this about Rush, but to address what you said, he said that the world wanted to have a good black quarterback, which is the reason why the world rallied around Donovan McNabb. I 100% agree with him when he said that. Right. At the time, he was the most prominent. It was before the Michael Vick, and at the time it was before Michael and after Randall and Warren. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with him at the time. But yeah, as far as this guy,
I just think sometimes they go too far with it.
Listen, what you think? Nevada Republican said that he would sign a bill and jump on board with slavery if that's what his constituents wanted. What you think?
I felt like he did the slip up. I was waiting for you to say in the part of the letter where he said he was sorry. And when I heard it, I knew it. He did the slip up. He said, let me just apologize because I messed up. And then he recanted what he said and he took it back.
Yeah.
It always happens.
And you know what's crazy about that? We as black folk, we so damn forgiving. We'll forgive everything, man. We'll let you do all kinds of shit to us. You know what I mean? And then all you got to do is call up Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton and get a photo op with them. And then they say, "Look, black folk, you should let this white person off the hook because they came see me. And since I'm your leader, you should let them off the." Hell no. You don't get to say that.
Why are you talking like you in slavery? Why are you talking like
because that's how they talk. That's how they talk. And anybody that knows me, hey, look, man, I love Al Sharpton. That's my dude. But I like Barack Obama. That's my dude too. Hey, I like George Bush. I'd have a beer with that guy. But when you wrong, you wrong. And in this case, it annoys me, the so-called black leadership that we have in this country, because all you got to do is say, "Hey, look, man, I messed up. I'm sorry," which I know that's the Christian way. And no matter what this country say, this is a Christian nation. But the reality is there's certain stuff that you say that you don't get to come back from. And the fact that the Holocaust is something that you can't put up there and apologize and say, "Look, Jewish people, I shouldn't have made that analogy. My bad." You're not going to see some prominent Jewish person come out and let you get it passed. So why it's always got to be us? Big Roo, what you think, man? You got this lawmaker that says that if his constituents said that they wanted slavery back, he'd back them. What you think?
I think he's crazy. However, he has a good point. He knows his constituents because back in the election, Nevada was the only state that had or average college education that voted for the other guy. I don't remember the other guy's name anymore.
Willard Romney.
Yes, they voted for Romney. That is the only state or the top 10 states that voted for Barack Obama. They were all college educated. And of course, the top 10 who voted for Romney, 9 of them were not. Nevada was the only one that was average college educated. That does not surprise me because, let's just be honest, how close are they to Arizona? And we don't need to go into the Arizona situation because Public Enemy made a song about it. So that doesn't shock me at all. He's a douchebag. And, I'm sorry.
That's the second time you used that word.
I mean, that's my favorite word today. And first of all, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that as a bunch of BS. You did mean to say it, and you probably feel that way. And you know what? Your people probably feel that way, too.
Steven, what you think? Mr. LP?
He stole the words from my mouth. He meant what he said. It's just the fact of he didn't think, because some people think that they're in a smaller state or maybe not as popular or whatever overall. Nevada, outside of Las Vegas, Reno, and a couple of football teams, you don't really think of them overall. So he think he can just say something underneath the rug and let's let it pass, but he forget that we're not in that type of society anymore. We're going to let you go with it. And to your point of about we're so forgiving, I think it's just it's the whole thing of assimilating, because I think that if we hold on to this, some people are so scared of the quote unquote myth of black anger that they'll go ahead and just forgive. So they
ain't no myth.
Go ahead. Well, the in terms of how we go about certain things, when we're all not angry black people and things like that.
Damn it, I'm angry.
But you're educated angry.
I mean, Public Enemy made a song about that. It's called Fight the Power.
Why we gotta always apologize?
I'm saying that I'm saying that they're approaching it as, we don't want the angry black man come after us, so we're gonna say this is sorry just to get him to calm down.
Yeah,
and
but
that's how that was his approach.
Yeah, but that ain't no myth. It is angry black people.
But you know what though?
Right,
you gotta.
But you know what? There's how many people out there that will still sit there. There's plenty of people out there that still say, they wish that, not that I personally agree, but they say they wish that they did not have integration, and a lot of them still want us to go get us away.
But you know what's crazy about that? When I did my rant last week, and I started off by saying that one of the best things that happened to black people in this country was integration, and one of the worst things that happened to black people in this country was integration. Because before integration, we had our own shit. We had our own neighborhoods. We had our own businesses. We had our own places to go and do, and we prospered. Now we had issues with Jim Crow. I don't want to overstate when I say prospered, but we had community. Whereas now we so splintered and we so concerned about our own that we don't talk about each other. And the other thing that I said in that same rant, when I talked about Invest in Us, the program that I discussed, where we've got an organization that's trying to pool money so that we can put it together and we can benefit as a community, nobody wants to talk about it. You want to talk about basketball wives, you want to talk about all that kind of nonsense. If I put something up stupid on my Facebook page, that shit'll blow up. But if I talk about how we can empower each other, nobody got nothing to say.
I don't think it's so much of the worst thing. I think it's the assimilation. Like, you see other cultures no problem integration, but they still maintain the identity. And in terms of the black community, I won't say African American to make you upset, but in terms of the black community, it's just the aspect of there's still a lot of self-hatred in our community. I got to get mine before I got to get yours, and the lack of long-term authority of our actions that caused the problem.
Let's kind of move on from here. Last week was, first of all, Ain't No Hashtag Marcus J live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio.com flagship show. Be down with us, 804-402-2893. Actually, before I go into the next segment, I am very, very happy right now because I've got all of the shows here on Legacy Internet Radio represented. We've got Big Rube and JR. Myself of Ain't No Hashtag on Marcus J. I got Mr. LP Steven Sykes is representing live in radio, which is on Tuesdays from 7 to 9. I've got Lissa P of the Green Room.
Yeah, Grizzly, I got you, boy. You better be listening to posting, boy.
Lissa P.
Do some work, boy.
Holding us down from 7
Don't
to 9.
nobody know about us, boy.
Wednesday nights. And then, of course, yours truly of Did They Just Play That? We got a hit in social media from DJ Renee Melendez, who hosts the Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez on 7 to 9 on Saturday night. So we all represented here in this segment. So I'm real happy and proud about that. All right. Steven, I want you on this one first. Last Thursday was Halloween. And you had a lot of people dressing up in all kinds of costumes. You saw your normal goblins and your normal Darth Vaders and your Spider-Mans and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, you watched The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I know I watch it every year. I haven't missed it since 1978 when I was 4. I haven't missed it since then.
I wasn't even born.
And you're still young and beautiful.
Yeah.
No, I was just born.
What
month was it?
October.
Yeah, I was born in July, so yeah, 70.
So you was like 3 months old.
Yeah.
I've been watching, and so and I got a few rocks in my bag when I went trick or treating as a kid. It's a reference directly to it. But anyway, seriously, a lot of the costumes have been getting attention. One of the costumes that I've seen getting a lot of attention has been the white folk in blackface. One guy in blackface dressed as Trayvon Martin, with a big red stain and a hoodie, red stain on his chest, wearing a hoodie in blackface. And you had the white guy, holding a gun to his head with a shirt on that says Neighborhood Watch. Picture is floating around the internet. Story came out over the weekend right here in the Virginia area about a mom who is allowing her 7-year-old son to dress as a Ku Klux Klan member. And apparently the child wanted to wear this uniform or this, I guess, costume. And the mom doesn't see the problem because, quote, other people in her family, end quote, has worn this costume in recent years. So what I want to kind of talk about in this segment is the how comfortable some folks feel in denigrating other people's loss, in the case of Trayvon Martin, or disrespecting the culture in the sense of the KKK. What's your thoughts?
First of all, can I add something to that? What happened to dressing up as Frederick Douglass, Huey Lewis, or Lena?
We talking about white folk, man.
I know.
White folk ain't dressing no Fred Douglass.
No, I mean, it's just you want to look like us, then do something powerful. But these people right here, I just think that this is going loco. I just think that they just have no respect, and I think that when you don't, I think the one with the family and the mother with those two gentlemen, then she's now no longer working because so many people made an outrage. I think this is one of those situations where is that we as a community need to stomp these people out, and I mean respectfully that. Don't buy for them, don't allow them to have anything and stuff like that, and let them know how bad things are. I don't think that because they just lack of respect. And what's sad is that many of these people I don't know specifically the heritage behind those the first people that you mentioned.
White folk.
Right, but I mean.
I mean,
but no,
white folk.
I'm meaning in terms of Poland, the former Yugoslavia.
That shit don't matter, man.
No, hear me out. Hear me out.
I don't need to hear you out when we talk about white folk.
No, I understand, but no, a lot of them are third, fourth, fifth generation from their families going through something, or they went through Holocaust or what have you, and it's for them that not only you're disrespecting us, but you're disrespecting your heritage of family who's been through similar situations.
The people from the Holocaust ain't doing this.
No,
white folk, man.
No, but my point is that they lack a respect of their cultural surroundings of all different types, even their own heritage, and it's sad. And they need to be taken out into a bullwhip. And
I would go there because I'm not going to endorse violence.
No,
to
but
anybody
I'm
for
saying
any
that,
reason.
I'm saying, but they need to be educated.
I got you. I'm not going to endorse violence to anybody for any reason unless you harm me. You know, if you hit me, then off with your head. But I'm not going to, I'm not going to attack you for saying something. If you something, then I'm quick with it. I can say something back. You put your hand on me, your hand comes off. So that's when we do that. But as far as I'm not going to minimize this by going into generations and trying to figure out what their culture is. White folk in America are the ones who are doing this stuff. Straight up. Let's not play this game, man, because this is what we do. We apologize for them.
I'm not apologizing.
You are by sitting here trying to determine which group of white folk is doing this.
No, I'm not
apologizing for them.
I'm not just saying apologize. I'm just saying that by also demonizing one culture, you also didn't demonize.
I don't care about the other cultures. I care about black folk.
Okay. In addition, before they allowed to have another job or anything, they should be given an educate or just not allowed until they get it.
Talk to him, Ruben.
They do that. At most
this didn't
work. At most real jobs, they give that kind of sensitive training. However, I understand what you're saying. We just don't agree. And I am by far the most liberal dude up in here. But yeah, like the chick out in Virginia who allowed her 7-year-old kid to wear the KKK uniform. I mean, and then she's like, well, everybody, my friend used to wear it. And then at the nerve there's KKK around here. Oh, that justifies your kid wearing it? What? Next thing you know, they're going to be hanging people up in Southwest Virginia. I know people in Southwest Virginia, personally, who are friends of mine. But that don't make it right. The two kids the dude dressed up in blackface and the other kid who put his hand with a gun had a little neighborhood watch on it. I mean, that's pretty ignorant. I mean, it is what it is, but it's ignorant. But I can't excuse that because that's stupid.
No, I'm not excusing their behavior. I'm just saying that it's just bad and they need to be educated on how.
But these are educated people. These two kids, I am pretty sure they went through high school and they know what's right and what's wrong.
Right, but but look at it this way. You know how much they're trying to take out black history in school. They know how much they're trying to take out.
But this has nothing to do with it. This is a bunch of douchebags. Yes. Straight up. There's a bunch of douchebags out here who think it's kind of funny. And it's not. Hey, we're gonna take a picture. I'm gonna paint my face be Trayvon Martin, and I'll put a gun to your head like I killed you, and have a neighborhood watch y'all. And that shit is funny. No, it's not. It's stupid. It's ignorant, and you can't defend ignorance.
I'm not defending ignorance.
But that's it. But there's no other way around it. There's no
that is ignorant, and then in addition that they're being ignorant not only to black people, but they're also ignorant if they can't relate to us.
But of course we know that.
Right, but they could relate to their own personal.
But that goes without saying.
So then now in their own personal family history, they've gone through so much bad.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about their personal family history. They're ignorant to what they did was ignorant, and then for their families, it made them look like douchebags.
Exactly.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Hey, look.
It's just stupid. It's stupid, it's ignorant, and you can't control ignorance. All you can do is sit here
and
try to educate. You can try to educate.
Look. I know. He's probably still in his 20s now. A German fellow who makes Hitler references and Nazi references, and you know good and damn well that's not cool.
Exactly.
It don't matter. It don't matter where you from. It don't matter what you done did. Like she before you even got out of your mouth that the lady said it's cool because other family members say use the KKK thing. I'm thinking, yeah, because he probably knows some of his family that got it. That's why he think it's okay. Now, I mean, having said all that, I mean, personally, I feel like he need an uppercut, you know what I'm saying, for letting him wear something like that. Okay. But I mean, you can't really. I mean, it's America. Like people are using "It's America" against us. Like nowadays, it's not. You know, people want you to think it's just the Taliban or it's just these Middle Eastern folks who are coming here using our laws against us. But it's white people doing it too. You know, we're in a post-racial society because we elected a black president whom we crucify every chance we get. So it's okay that, you know, now that we elected a black president, now I can go cover my face in black paint and have somebody put a fake gun to my head.
No, I got you. Which was actually his hands and his fingers. Which
so I mean, you know, but you know what? What goes around comes around. I mean, they're gonna get a dose of reality eventually. Exactly. You know, so I mean, it pisses me off, but you know, like the old girl who dressed up as the chick from Orange Is the New Black. Wow, when I saw her initial costume, I didn't feel any type of way about it because to me, when she covered herself, it wasn't just black face paint. You know what I'm saying? She actually made herself look like a skin tone. You can tell when somebody's being, you know, how they're being about it. Like if they're not, she didn't just come out in blackface. Right. You know, she made an attempt on a costume. I still think it was in poor taste given her position, but. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I felt when I saw that Trayvon Martin thing.
You know, I have Steppin, Marcus. Yeah, we getting a hit from S.Y. Butler, who's listening to her. She's disagreeing with you, Steven. She's saying that this is straight up disrespect, and that's that. They're idiots, and they are teaching their children to be idiots as well. This is a lack of freaking respect for the black race, point blank. I'll give you an opportunity, Steven, to address her point real quick. Then we're going to go to Lissa P, and then we're going to get out.
I'm not saying that I'm not defending their actions. I'm just saying my point is that obviously they don't understand our history or can't relate. So my point is relate to your family. In order to not disrespect us, use your own family history to have an understanding of not to disrespect other cultures.
But Stephen, and I'm going to disagree with that, saying they do know our history. And that's why they don't care.
I'm saying they can't relate.
No, it doesn't matter whether they can relate or not. They know our history. They do not care.
Okay, let me just shut the whole thing down because, first of all, I don't even know what the whole argument is about. It's not like any of this is new. Everybody's been using it. It's not going to change. It's never going to change. It's always going to be racism. Of course, we know that it's taught. You're not born with it. So, therefore, why is everybody surprised? And just like a friend of mine, we were just talking right before I got here. He was like, yo, the N-word is so loosely used now. I mean, it's like using the word red. I mean, it's okay now. So no, it's not okay, but it's the same. It's never going to change. It's nothing different. So I don't even understand. So the costumes, yeah, it's going to happen this year, next year, the year after next. Who's going to change it? You can't stop them from doing it. So what? What are you going to do?
I agree. Who can change it is us. And the sad thing is we haven't shown any desire to actually change it. Ain't no how Steppin with Marcus J. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Big Rube is going to lead us in the round table. Marcus J. I got Big Rube. I got Mr. LP. I got JR. And I got comedian that's Lissa P in the building. And you in social media. Stay
Greasy,
with us.
You better be posting, brother.
You better be posting.
Nobody know who we are.
We be
Come
back
on
in a minute.
now.
We're at war with terrorism.